there's the Capitol building. Montpelier has 8,000 people. This is downtown Montpelier. This whole area was underwater just a month ago. A big flood. Looks like a lot of them are closed for repairs still. Just missed a bear going across the road.
Black bear, small one. Right over here.
Oh, Adamant Music School, main house. We're at the music school. Luke doesn't want to be in the video. We're passing by some dairy farms, some syrup factories, lots of silos. It's a very rural area. Probably 20 miles away from Montpelier now. We've stopped in a little town called Linden that has 5 covered bridges. Still in Vermont, in the Northern Kingdom now, which is the topmost county. These covered bridges made the bridge last 40 years longer than if it was uncovered. This is called the Schoolhouse Bridge. Here's a little pedestrian walkway. This is the Chamberlain Bridge. Miller's Run covered bridge.
It's on the right.
This is the Sanborn Bridge. Randall Bridge. Could ski right down into the lake. This is some thick mist here. This is I-93, a one-lane interstate road. Going to the Price Chopper for some provisions. Still rainy. This is our Airbnb in New Hampshire. Nice little place for 2 nights. We're in Franconia Notch State Park, and we're going to do a little trail called the Basin.
You're in New Hampshire.
This is the Basin.
It was carved 15,000 years ago at the end of the Ice Age. It's all granite, and at the bottom, it's called the Old Man's Foot down here. These trees cling here to the edge on the granite. With just enough dirt to get them by.
We're only 3 miles away from the Appalachian Trail, which is supposed to be the most demanding part of the Appalachian Trail through New Hampshire. We're in the White Mountains National Forest at the COG train. We're going to ride the biodiesel train up Mount Washington. A toothed rack and a cog wheel. The summit of Mount Washington is the convergence of 3 major storm tracks. Highest temperature ever was 72 degrees. It's going to be in the 50s today. We're going to be going up 3 miles to the summit. Average grade is 25% and a maximum grade of 37%.
They have 6 biodiesel engines and 2 steam engines. This is a new one, which is a biodiesel. And there's where it goes. All aboard.
This is the railway, and that is the cog.
Fighting out of their benches into a big pile back there, all over the world. So, you know what's cool about our tracks is that the gradients, you may not feel them in these crooked benches, but these are some of the steeper grades in the world. So let's see a show of hands. How many of you think that building is crooked? Put your hand up. On a grade this steep, look how much I have to lean forward to stand up straight.
Train on the way up, and we're at a 37-degree angle, and people are trying to stand up straight.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, I got to tell you this story. 2 years ago, I was doing this exercise with the reason our tree line is so low, again, is because we have the world's worst weather.
We're at the summit. Here's Mark at the weather station at the top of Mount Washington. There's no wind now, but this recorded a 231 mile an hour wind and wind.
1934.
30. This building is chained to the top of the mountain so it doesn't blow away. New Hampshire state flag. That's what we could see if we weren't in the middle of a cloud today. Red fox, long-tailed weasel, a raven, bobcat, and a bunny. Feels like it's raining, but we are actually just in the middle of a cloud. Well, if you're hiking up here and a cloud enveloped you like this one, you would be in trouble.
Crazy up here. Worst weather in the world. How about that for a vacation destination?
We are at Kancamagus Pass. We're having some Thai food, salmon Penang curry and some veggie fried rice. Pretty good. We're in Lincoln, New Hampshire. Another day, another hike. Back in Franconia Notch State Park to the Flume Gorge. This is a covered bridge at the Flume Gorge. Lots of granite in the Granite State. Well, here is the Flume Gorge. Cool ledge to walk on. Popular place for pictures.
Walking through the gorge. It's gorgeous up here, gorgeous. It's probably only about 20 feet wide, and then it goes up 90 feet. Straight up.
very unique experience walking along this granite wall through this little gorge here. Woo, I'm getting sprayed. You can actually see the Franconia Notch today. Well, yet another spectacular waterfall. This one's really steep. This is the wolf's den. Here's the wolf's den. Oh, wow. We could keep going if we were small enough. Interesting support system. Cables and girders and a huge tree underneath. This is the exit of the wolf's den. Such pretty moss. How does that tree grow from the rock and the moss? I guess the moss is what helps it get enough moisture. Here's a picture of the old man of the mountain, which was the state symbol. It's on the state of New Hampshire's border, but it fell, was destroyed just like 10 years ago or something. We're going to start Mount Pemigewasset Trail. Rock trail here now. Trail goes right along this little creek, which I imagine is way more full because of recent rains.
You're climbing up this little creek bed all the way. Lots of stones, lots of branches, slippery in places, muddy in places. But if you put your foot down just right, you can navigate. But you gotta be tactical and strategic.
Well, we made it to the end. Oh, views are nice. Top of Pemigewasset. Looking into Franconia Notch. Coming down is tricky, avoiding mud, and it's pretty steep. Don't want to slip and fall. Welcome to Vermont. Downtown bar.
Vermont. This was flooding remnants.
Oh yeah. This place got really hit too.
Businesses are closed.
Capitol building ahead. Narrow bridge indeed. This is our Airbnb in Montpelier. Bathroom, dining room, kitchen, bedroom. This is our Airbnb today in Montpelier. We're gonna go check out this concert that we're hearing. We're just walking down the street, looking at all of these Victorian houses, painted ladies. Didn't get very far before running into that little jazz show that was put on by members of the community every Wednesday night. Lots of Victorian houses, big ones too. Another one down there.
These houses are amazing.
Well, here's remnants of the flood, which was just a month ago. We're walking downtown to see if anything is open. We're walking by all of these places of business that are completely gutted. Just one after another here. Completely gutted. Everything is shut down. See all of these little Vermont Strong, oh wow, Vermont Strong posters. Gutted, completely gutted. This is a picture of where we're standing now. Water filling the streets. Looks like some places are open. It gets much lower down there in the downtown area where all the businesses are closed. Capitol building. We are going to visit a granite quarry in Barr, Vermont. The Rock of Ages.
granite industries have come together and said this is the benchmark for blue-gray granite. It's about a 4-inch hole, and they drill from where that's drilled all the way down to that lower line. After they drill those, they're going to use something called a diamond wire saw, and there's 1.5. Marble's about a 3, slate is a 5, granite between 7 and 8, but diamonds are a 10. Somewhere, here we go. My assistant's going to hold that part.
We're coming back down from the quarry. This church is now mixed martial arts facility. So this place is Berry, not Bar. Rock of Ages. This quarry built the Vermont State House, Wisconsin State Capitol, and the World War II Memorial. This is where they manufacture, they make the most memorials and gravestones in the whole world. Good job! Luckily, the Capitol building was on higher ground, although it is not very far, maybe a 5 or 10 minute walk to where the worst flooding was. Nice gardens.
This is the Representatives Hall. We have 150 state representatives here in Vermont. Here where the carpet had to be joined.
Senate chamber.
It was in session from January to April. The chair
Governor's
we call the
office.
Constitution chair, because it was made
This painting shows Montpelier. The State House had a red dome. It's a wooden dome painted with copper paint. It's marble and marble. All from Lake Champlain. That is cool. So cool. Mary Granite. The flood came up halfway up the lawn, but luckily this building didn't get flooded, but most of the other government buildings are closed because the basement's flooded. Not very windy. Oh, there you go. There it is. This is the Morse Farm Maple Sugar Works. We're gonna get some ice cream made out of maple sugar. How did you like your maple syrup tasting?
I'm a light maple guy.
This is a creamy, half chocolate, half maple syrup. How is the maple creamy?
It's really yummy. I'm glad I got it.
It takes 40 gallons of maple sap to make 1 gallon of pure maple syrup. This blue tubing is how the syrup flows down to the collection bins. They said they had about 500 trees,
It's not.
1.5 inches deep, drilled in there.
Yep.
Plug comes down and goes to the main line. It goes all the way down to the collection bin. It turns out the lighter syrup is done in the colder weather. The maple sap collection is done in the spring only. Toward the end of the season, when it's warmer, that's when it's the darker grade and the more syrupy taste. Lots of different shades of maple. It has to be called pure, or it's not maple. This is the University of Vermont. We're in Burlington, Vermont, close to Lake Champlain, and this is the Church Street Marketplace. Pedestrian-friendly zone. We stopped at Black Cap Coffee and Bakery to get some quiche and lattes before starting our day in Burlington. This is our first view of Lake Champlain and the Adirondacks in New York, across the lake. We're going to the Leahy Center for Lake Champlain. This is their bike path. Look at this cool blue frog. These are invasive species of fish. Champ.
It's a question that's
Lake
been around
Champlain's
for a
version
long
of
time.
Loch Ness.
Evidence shows that the
Lake Champlain. This display shows muscle buildup after 3 months, 12 months, and 2 years. Well, this turned out to be a children's museum, but it was really cool. Probably the best one I've ever seen. Well, we found this great place to eat lunch. We thought it was going to be cold. It's not cold. It's a beautiful day.
Lake Champlain on the boardwalk.
The swing here. Gorgeous day in Burlington, Vermont. Well, we're back at Church Street now. 4 in the afternoon and we're a bit more lively.
Some live music going on. Vermont. Who knew? Get it.
Wow, they have a DJ on every block here. We are at Rock Point Trail, just a little north of North Beach in Burlington. Okay, we made it to Rock Point, the tip of a little cape. It's just north of Burlington. We're in Burlington at Battery Park, looking at the sunset over Lake Champlain and the Adirondack Mountains in New York. We're back where we started the day.
The black cap.
It's been a long day in Burlington, but it's been really nice.
Speaks well of that latte. There's only a half calf.
Yeah. On their way to our hike. We are starting a hike on the long trail, which is part of the Appalachian Trail, to Mount Abraham. Yikes, right away, it's really steep.
Didn't take long to get steep.
Oh, wait.
Got steep on the first step. Here we go.
Are we gonna make it? Green Mountain National Forest.
We are navigating our way through twisty, turny, rocky, climby hike here.
Some of it's muddy too.
Oh yeah, and maybe bears. Well, we don't have to wonder anymore why they call these the Green Mountains. The moss up here is everywhere. And there's our path.
almost at the top.
Almost.
This is really scrambling some steep boulders. We've got to hold on branches coming down here. This is really stupid. Actually, we stopped before we got to the top because it just got really too steep and dangerous. But it's been fun.
We just came from up there. Very steep, very rocky. Had to grab all the way down, branches and rocks. And we're heading out this way, down this way. It's probably a 45-degree angle. You gotta sit and grab and claw all the way down, or you're gonna take a tumble. Oh, and if you have time for the view, it's pretty nice. We have the climbing portion, the crawling portion, the stick-assisted portion, and the butt crawl portion. We have reached the butt crawl. It was much more butt crawly above, but we couldn't hold the camera up there.
Having a little snack by the brook. We're at Ben & Jerry's factory. Here we are.
So we made it to the Ben & Jerry's ice cream factory. We're about to go on our tour. The whole little kingdom here. A lot of signs, things to do.
Look at all these flavors.
Getting ready for our tour here at Ben & Jerry's.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Ben & Jerry's factory tour. My name is Brianna, and I'm going to be your tour guide today. So today we have a 3-part tour for you.
Our sample is
All right, so we are
butterscotch.
Ben & Jerry's. I
Very
have to tell you
good.
at least one pageant.
10 most popular fish food. What? Chunky monkey brownie batter. A half-baked idea.
It's got to be a fully consumed, half-baked idea, maybe.
Torturous. Torturous.
Here's what you can do.
It's too hard to eat.
You can go get in line, and then when you get up to the tent, come back here, be glad that you bought the ice cream, and it'll be ready for you.
No, I'm glad we're not standing in that line for 40 minutes to get a cone. And now we're at Cabot Creamery, maker of the world's best cheddar, maybe.
We're at Cabot's. Getting some fix or 2 or 3 of cheese.
Horseradish. Ooh. Yikesies.
Good contrast to ice cream. Just had 9 samples of cheese and half a pint of ice cream. And this is what I'm gonna be today if I don't stop.
Teutongian.
Help me! We're at the Adamant Food Co-op, and this is the
longest continuously operating food cooperative in the country
In the
since
country.
1935.
either the chocolate zucchini cake or the chocolate cherry almond fudge cake, or both.
I'd vote for both.
Both.
We're picking up Luke at the co-op. Luke, did you have a good time? Picking up Luke. Heading back home. We're in the Burlington airport. Went through the security line. There was no one ahead of us.